Ever feel like you're spinning your wheels? Working harder than ever, putting in all the hours, but you're just not getting the results you want? It's like you're pedaling as fast as you can, but not really going anywhere. Well, you're not alone. But what if the key to finally breaking free isn't some big, complicated new strategy, but just a few simple shifts in your daily habits?
Dear book lovers, welcome to another high-speed book summary episode of Summarypedia. We are here to bring you more titles in less time. In this episode, we are going to explore the important and highly practical lessons from the book Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. This book is all about those powerful, practical lessons that can help you finally break out of that rut and start building some real momentum. So let's get into it.
So where do we even begin? Well, Dean Graziosi's core idea is pretty straightforward. Before you can achieve any kind of success on the outside, in your career, with your finances, in your life, you first have to win the battle that's raging inside your own head. Let's unpack what that really means. He actually gives this internal enemy a name, the villain within. Come on, you know this voice. It's that nagging, critical voice that tells you you're not smart enough, or that the timing's not right, or that your big idea is doomed to fail. It is, as he calls it, the parasite of potential. To really picture this inner battle, Graziosi uses that classic old story of the two wolves. You've got one wolf that represents the villain. It's all about scarcity, doubt, and fear. And then you have the hero wolf, which is all about courage, confidence, and joy. So which one wins the fight? It's simple. It's the one you feed.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When that villain's voice is just so loud and persistent, how do you find the energy and the motivation to consistently feed your inner hero? It's not just about willpower. It's about having a reason, a why, that's so powerful, it just drowns out all that negative noise.
And this brings us to what might be one of the most powerful tools in the entire book. Graziosi gives us a super practical exercise to dig down and find that deep, unshakable motivation. He calls it the 7 levels deep exercise.
Now, the real power of this exercise is just how simple it is. You start with a surface-level goal, something like, I want to make more money. Then you just ask yourself, why, 7 times. With each answer, you're peeling back another layer, moving from a logical want to a deeply emotional core reason.
And you can see how powerful this is in Dean's own story. When he did this exercise, he went from just wanting success to uncovering his real why. It was to escape the deep shame he felt as a kid when he and his father were so poor they literally lived in a bathroom. That raw, real emotion, that becomes an incredible source of fuel.
Okay, so winning this inner game also means we have to challenge some things we've been taught our whole lives. For example, from the time we're in school, we're told to find our weaknesses and fix them, right?
But what if that's actually the slowest, most soul-crushing path to getting anywhere? What if all that time you're spending focusing on what you're bad at is just, feeding that villain within?
Graziosi's advice here is a total game changer. He says, forget about it. Forget your weaknesses, and instead, double down on what you are already good at. When an editor told him his first manuscript was embarrassing, he didn't go try to become a grammar expert. No, he focused on his strength, his message, and it became a New York Times bestseller.
So once you start winning that inner game, how do you actually translate that into real-world results? Well, that brings us to the second half of the equation, building the habits for outer success.
It all starts with this one foundational habit. It's simple, but it's profound. No matter what you're doing, no matter how small or boring the task, do it to the absolute best of your ability. Act as if the most important person in the world is watching you. This creates a standard of excellence that people notice.
And there is no better proof of this than the story of John Paul DeJoria. A teacher once told him he would be a total failure. The guy was homeless, twice. But whether he was cleaning floors or selling encyclopedias door to door, he did it with excellence. That one habit literally became the foundation for his entire empire.
All right, the next huge habit for outer success is all about communication. But maybe not in the way you're thinking. It's not about being the slickest talker in the room. It's about becoming the best listener.
Look, it really comes down to this. Bad persuasion is all about pushing your own agenda, just waiting for your turn to talk. True, good persuasion is about deeply understanding the other person's needs, their fears, and their goals first. Just think about the car salesman who only lists features versus the one who asks about your family to figure out what you really need. World of difference.
Okay, now for the final big mindset shift, and this one is really powerful. We are all taught to chase success, right? We think that once we get the money, the job title, the house, then finally we will be happy.
But Graziosi argues that we have this completely backward. He says happiness isn't the reward you get for success, it's the fuel. When you make a point to cultivate happiness first, you generate the energy, the creativity, and the resilience you need to actually achieve lasting success. Now you might be wondering, who is this guy behind all these powerful ideas? Well, understanding Dean Graziosi's own journey is really the key to seeing why his advice feels so authentic and so impactful.
His story is the ultimate proof that his principles work. I mean, he didn't start with any advantages. He faced poverty, constant change, even learning disabilities. He built his success from the absolute ground up by living the very habits he now teaches. This guy isn't just talking the talk, he has walked the walk every step of the way.
All right, that was a ton of powerful information. So let's just take a second and recap the absolute key habits that can help you totally transform your results.
So remember, it all starts with your mindset. You gotta win that inner game by feeding your hero and finding your true why. Then shift your focus away from fixing weaknesses and instead just maximize your strengths. In your day-to-day actions, build a foundation of excellence and master persuasion by listening first. And underneath it all, remember to make happiness the fuel for your journey, not just the destination.
So, as we wrap this up, the most important question isn't really about what you learned, but what you're going to do. You don't have to tackle all of these at once. Just pick one. Which of these habits will you commit to starting today?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more high-speed book summaries from Summarypedia.